like, because the way the Phoenix Dex functions, you sort of want graveyard, and Mill does that for you, but they're like a surgical extraction control deck, right? So I would say that it's not favorable, but it's not that bad, simply because Mill can't always have it all. If they have it all, like, you're probably just never winning anyways, and you can just resolve a Crackling Drake, and it's normally lethal because they've just milled you a bunch already. And you can always just play the beatdown plan. I definitely beat Dave on camera with just casting a Phoenix and smashing his face in while he like milled me for 3 cards a turn or something, right?
Right.
The clock isn't fast enough, and it's actually not that interactive.
Okay. All right. Well, matchup going to be up in the air, and should be hopefully Julian, David can right Mr. Derek's wrongs. Does this list differ from yours at all? Does this look to be anything different than what we've seen?
He's organized his cards differently.
Is it much nicer to look at, or is it worse?
It's not in order, so he has like 2 Crackling Drake, 4 Metamorphose, Space, 4 Arclight Phoenix, 4 Faithless Looting. Like, just put the creatures together, you know?
Much worse to look at, I agree.
Right. So it's mostly the same. Yeah, he has 1 Gut Shot. I have 1 Gut Shot. He has 2 Lightning Axe. I have 1 Lightning Axe, 1 Flame Slash.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, we both have 1 Pyromancer Ascension. I have 2 Snapcasters in the main. And I don't have a Twisted Image.
Okay.
I'm also not playing Snow-Colored Basics. And he's only playing 2 Islands, and I'm playing 3. He's also playing 2 more fetches than I am.
Some slight difference in the list, not too much though.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really differentiate too much. I think this is actually Owen's entire 75. He has the 1 of Leyline of Sanctity, 1 of Leyline of the Void in the sideboard. And that to me was like the Owen Turnwald thing from the last Modern GP. Owen really put that into the stratosphere by doing that, and I think he finished X3.
Okay. And here we go. Back to the game though. Julian David looks like he played a Thing in the Ice. It was promptly Fatal Push. After a fetch, Dave is going to resolve this Archive Trap. I'm not sure on whose turn it is, but an Archive Trap can be dangerous against the Phoenix deck, as they can give them, if they hit multiple Phoenixes, and Dave does not have a Surgical Extraction, give them tons of velocity.
Yeah, Dave does have the Surgical Extraction here, so that's rather important. It looks like it is Julian's turn, if I had to guess. Oh no, it was Dave's end step.
And it looks like Julian's also milled 3 Lightning Bolts, making the possibility of trying to like do a Bolt Reach is going to be a little harder.
Yeah, specifically with Schillingford at 18. I would say that game 1 is specifically difficult to win because you're short on Spell Pierces, you're short on Dispel. And you have to really focus your plan. Game 1, you have these gut shots and these like twisted images that aren't really going to do anything, and I think that can really slow you down if you draw one of them. I do, if I see that correctly, I think there is a Pyro Ascension in Julian's hand. I think I would have just put that into play as soon as possible, because if Dave surgicals the Phoenixes, I think it's going to be hard for Julian to win. And he needs some sort of reach or way to get underneath Schillingford's chokehold of mill cards when they're like not attacking your life total. That's something you can interact with.
Right. I actually think before the Faithless Looting resolved, I probably would have surgicaled the Phoenixes immediately.
Right.
So that way, if he has a Phoenix in his hand, you can take an extra card out of his hand.
It's like he's discarding a card anyways, yeah.
Yep. So Dave's going to fire off that Surgical, and you have to assume that if your opponent's going to fire off that Archive Trap there, that he has the Surgical. So yeah, getting the Pyromancer Ascension in play a little earlier makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I just think that Pyromancer's Ascension has a huge momentum with it, and when it goes off, it really goes off. I feel like you take over the game when it has 2 counters on it.
Yep.
And he really needs to do that now, because right now the pace of the game is in Schillingford's hand, and you don't want that to happen when he like that's the non-interactive combo deck, so to speak, right?
Yep.
You want to be in control. You want to be playing the mid-range control role.
And there we go. Glimpse the Unthinkable. 10 cards are going to be taken off Julian's head. And see if he mills any key pieces. The only win conditions he has left in his deck are going to be the 2 Crackling Drakes, 1 gone there, and then the rest of the Thing of the Ices.
He also has the 1 Snapcaster in his bin, so that's gone as a win condition. I think if I were Julian, I would put the Ascension into play and just immediately cast Manamorphose. I think there's a Manamorphose in his bin if I...
Yeah, I believe so. There's a Manamorphose in his bin.
Yeah, okay. So cast that, put a counter on it, and hope to hit one of those spells. Because, like, at this point in the game, if Shillingford has you dead, you're dead anyways. Yep. You just can't really play around anything, right?
Dave just resolved the Visions of Beyond to draw 3 cards there, because definitely more than 20 cards in his graveyard. So Dave's got a grip full of action.
Yeah.
And Julian's sitting on little threats and nothing but cantrips.
Yeah, I would say this game's over. I probably wouldn't concede because it's possible that Shillingford's on air, but it's not promising from this position.
And he's got that Shelldock Isle activated now, probably by almost assuredly.
You'd have to assume. I think I see there's a Mesmeric Orb and a land in his hand. I don't know. If he doesn't have it, he'll have it soon for sure.
I believe Dave is holding another copy of Glimpse the Unthinkable.
Oh yeah, there it is. I saw it. Okay. Well, yeah, this game's pretty much over.
Yep. Nope. Serum Vision's gonna happen. There's one.
Oh, Visions first, eh? That's interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You want to...
Ooh. The age-old question, do you leave the Crackling Drake on top to get milled if you don't have a cantrip?
I mean, he has the Manamorphose, so he can draw. You just can't cast it this turn, and I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, he cannot cast it. It's going to be on top of his library. That's his only other win condition aside from the Thing in the Ices, and we're going to see that Glimpse the Unthinkable.
Yeah.
Julian going to think about conceding there as he grabs his deck.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that Julian didn't fetch to cast Manamorphose into Serum Visions to turn on the Ascension.
Yep.
Maybe he was trying to play around Archive Trap, but I just don't think you can play around that at this point in the game. Like the 13 cards probably isn't going to make that much of a difference compared to like 10 or even 6 or whatever, like because your library is so low anyways.
Dave gonna crack that Delta, gonna get a basic island. We're gonna see if he has another mill spell to fall out. He's got a Mesmeric Orb. That's definitely, it's gonna mill at least 3 cards.
Right.
Well, that Thought Scour, not looking too good.
No, Thoughts. I actually, when I played against Shillingford earlier, I Thought Scoured him because I just I couldn't afford to mill myself too, you know.
No, I get you. yeah, this game most assuredly in the books. Dave is even holding a copy of Crypt Incursion if for some reason he would get blasted. Nope, and there we go. There's the scoop. So let's look at the sideboard here and see what on the side of Phoenix are we going to use to fight this matchup.
So I like one of Dispel, the one of Leyline of Sanctity is really powerful. I like Snapcaster Mage and I like 2 Spell Pierce. You want the Snapcaster to complement your spells such as Dispel and Spell Pierce, and of course Leyline of Sanctity makes it so you actually can't be targeted by some of the mill effects like Archive Trap. I think it also stops Glimpse the Unthinkable. And you have a lot of cuts, so I think that, like I said, Twisted Image isn't very good, Gut Shot isn't very good, and the 2 Lightning Axe isn't very good. That's where I would start. You kind of want to save Lightning Bolt for the crabs, or just Dave's Face. And like I said, I also like Pyromancer Ascension in case they resolved a bridge. Oh, I guess we should not forget that Julian should bring in his one of a braid.
Yeah, for the bridge. Although he did not see the... he's bringing in Shattering Spree. Okay, and because he saw the Mesmeric Orb, he's also bringing in a braid.
Right.
It's a big reason to bring in those spells.
Yeah.
On the side of Mr. Shillingford, how do you feel about Collective Brutality against the Phoenix deck? Do you like it?
It's interesting because you want to be able to duress away the counter spells, and it also sometimes kills a Phoenix. The thing is, though, if the Phoenix is in play, it means that it either didn't come from the graveyard or you don't have the surgical anyways, and it doesn't kill Thing in the Ice.
Or Crackling Drake.
Right. It also just doesn't attack your opponent on the axes that you're trying to attack them on. Like, the life loss is irrelevant. You're trying to mill them.
Yeah, 100%.
So, bringing it in as a duress effect is kind of loose to me. Although, if you really think that it's important, those counter spells are very important, then yeah, I would say bring it in. Or if you have a bunch of cuts that you don't think should be in the deck.
Yep. Okay. And then the other cards I would imagine Dave's going to bring in here is he's got the one copy of Crypt Incursion, the third copy of Crypt Incursion in the board rather that he can bring in. He's got 3 extirpates. He's got a Set Adrift, which is actually surprisingly annoying against Phoenix. And then he's got the another Surgical, and then if he feels it, he can bring in an Unmoored Ego, which I'm probably saying he doesn't need, and then he has another Ensnaring Ridge, which he should definitely bring in.
Right. I've actually played against Set Adrift. A Phoenix player played it against me, and the Time Walk effect is very annoying. You just don't see it coming, and then you're just like, wow, now I just I don't know,
Now I just lose.
Yeah, you didn't plan for it, it fucks everything up, so.
Set Adrift, definitely a spicy one. How do you feel about Unmoored Ego against Phoenix? Do you think Dave wants that card or no?
He already has effects like that in Surgical and Extirpate. When you're milling your opponent and you're only trying to hit the threats that are creatures, both of those cards do a good enough job. It's not like you need to hit KCI or something, or you need to hit Grape Shot. You know what I mean? Like, when you don't need to hit those cards that when they resolve, the game's over. I guess Scape Shift is also a good example. Okay. It's like if those cards resolve, you can kill them and then extirpate them, or if they're in the graveyard, you can extirpate them then.
Okay, so what cards are you as Julian wanting to board out in this matchup? What cards do you not like in your main deck?
I don't like Twisted Image. I'd probably cut a Thought Scour or 2. I'd probably cut the Lightning Axes. So, 1 Twisted Image, 2 Lightning Axe, 1 Gut Shot is to start, so that's 4 cards. There's at least, I think he brought in the Spree, so there's at least 6 cards I would bring in. I'd probably cut a Thought Scour or 2, just because it's the worst of the cantrips on average, and you don't want to be milling yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely don't want to be assisting the clock, right?
Right.
Dave's deck list is named 60 card burn for a reason. You don't nug yourself for 2 with your Thought Scours. And Faithless Looting definitely just a necessary evil, right?
Yeah. Well, Faithless Looting is just so powerful in a sense that it helps you deflood. If you're looking for something specific, it can help you find it. Turns on your Phoenixes. I think. And also, if your mill opponent mills it, you can cast it.
Oh, for true, my dude.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get it set in for game 2. I imagine Julian's going to be on the play here, and we're going to see 7s.
I'm personally upset that neither of them put their playmat over the current Harry T playmat.
Nobody here is a man of Archdeacon's caliber.
So, Dave has blue-black fetch land, Field of Ruin, and a bunch of spells.
Double Extirpate.
Yeah, and Julian had a bunch of spells, but no lands.
No, I'm no expert here, Bob, but you kind of have to mulligan hands without lands.
I think if you're not, you will never be an expert.
Oh, for true. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Dave's got an incredibly strong hand. He's got the Archive Trap plus Exturbate combo in his hand.
That is actually a combination. I made the mistake against Dave game 1 of turn 1 fetching, and he just Archive Trapped me and Surge Gold me.
Yep.
And I just shouldn't have fetched.
Yep.
I just had a non-fetchable land in my hand, and I just should have played instead.
Yeah, it's Julian, look at that hand of a billion lands. It looks
4 lands. I mean, I think you have to keep that hand.
Oh, 100%. It can be anything, right? You got 2 ops in your hand.
Right, it could be a boat.
It can even be a boat. Oh, shows him the Spire Bluff Canal, says, I have this. Oh, then plays it again.
Do not play the fetch land.
And Julian is a learned man after hearing Mr. Derek's comments.
You just can't do it.
Here we go. Opt. What are you looking for if you're Julian here?
I'm looking for Spell Pierces, I'm looking for Dispels, and I'm looking for Thing in the Ice.
Okay.
Thing in the Ice is your quickest clock. You need to get a clock on the board to really pressure your mill opponent. And I'm also probably looking for answers to the cards like Bridge that stop me in my tracks after I find my threat.
Okay.
I personally don't like this play because I feel like you're not doing anything. You don't necessarily need to cast the Manamorphose partially because I just never think those Phoenixes are coming back into play. Your opponent's playing 8 surgical extraction effects, or like 7 or whatever,
7, yeah.
right? I just think you have to be hard casting that and leaving up counter spells or something, or trying to resolve a thing in the ice.
Yep. So he did actually find a Dispelled Julian, and as well as an Arclight Phoenix. So if you're Julian in this position, are you just going to wait to cast that Arclight Phoenix?
See, now this is why I don't like playing the Manamorphose there, because you wasted a free spell, right? So to me, if he has the Dispel plus the Manamorphose and finds a Faithless Looting, he can go off and then like try to counter a Surgical. Can't beat an Extirpate, but like you're not beating the Extirpate anyways, right? So I think that you can just cast it and play the Dispel. I think that's good. I think finding a thing in the ice is significantly better.
Yep.
There's the Faithless Looting.
Oh, your play would have been perfect, Eric.
Yeah, I with the Phoenix deck, and I've learned this the hard way. You sometimes just gotta be try to be patient. As much as Manamorphose is a free spell and it gets you a card deeper, unless you have an actual real reason to cast it, casting it doesn't accomplish anything.
Right.
You tap yourself out. So on average, it's just like not as good as passing.
Yep. And we're going to see that Faithless Looting finish resolving. We're going to see if he's going to bin. What he's going to bin. Maybe it's going to be that Phoenix. He does have, I believe, 3 lands in his hand. If he's going to be on the hardcast Phoenix plan, he's going to need to discard some of those lands probably, so he can, or maybe a cantrip and a land. But he's probably just going to be on the Bring Back Phoenix plan. Nope, double Scalding Tarn going to hit the bin here.
Yeah, I like that. He's discarding a fetch land, so he doesn't have to search through his library, so it doesn't turn on Archive Trap. Although, like, I don't know how he's going to cast this. It just doesn't matter anyways.
There's the fetch.
Okay, well, I don't know. I probably would have put the Phoenix in the bin. Like, you can only play around the Extirpate effects so much. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I understand. Like Extirpate, definitely unbeatable, or definitely really hard to beat. And bam, there's the Archive Trap.
Yeah.
Let's see if he wants to fight over with the Dispel here.
I think I would Dispel this. Yeah. Mission briefing.
Oh,
wow.
Mission briefing. Gonna surveil too. Then gonna get to recast that Archive Trap.
That's big game.
Dave sees a Echoing Truth and a Visions of Beyond, I believe, on top of his library. And bam, Archive Trap you.
Yeah.
Julian says, hang on, not done shuffling my library yet.
And everybody waits with bated breath.
Oh, Julian's gonna try to figure out the interaction between how these cards work.
Yeah, we might be calling a judge soon.
It's a spoopy interaction, let me tell you.
It is definitely, I was going to say surveilling, but I guess that's not really a word.
Definitely surveillant. You heard it here first, folks. Definitely
Not an English doctor.
Yeah, we're going to see what 13 cards are going to hit the bin here. It's going to be a Blood Moon. Interesting Blood Moon coming into this matchup.
Blood Moon. I opted not to bring in Blood Moon because it's really slow and they can fetch around it pretty easily.
Yep. Yeah, I don't love Blood Moon here.
Blood Moon would be really sick here, but it's not in play, so.
Like, Dave is playing 4 islands and 2 swamps in his deck, and he's got 4 Field of Runes too to fetch them out before you can resolve the Blood Moon if you can't.
Right.
So I just feel like and his mana costs aren't strict, right? Mission Briefing is his strictest spell.
Yeah, I mean, you could consider, like, Glimpse the Unthinkable a little strict. I don't think it is. The thing is like now that Dave sees that Blood Moon, he'll start playing around it more also.
Yep, and bam, there's an Extirpate on, I believe, Julian's draw step. It's going to be aiming at that thing in the ice. Mm-hmm. And you just see Julian's hand, just air. He's got nothing going on.
Yeah.
So the only way you're going to be able to cast this Leyline is with Manamorphose, correct?
Yeah, there's no white sources. He has Flooded Strands, but no actual factual white sources.
So what's the deal with the 1 Leylines in the board?
They're just supposed to be like silver bullets against specific decks. So the one of white Leyline's really good against Burn. It's really good against Mill. It's really good against black-green decks, you know?
Yep.
I don't necessarily agree with it just because you're really hedging very heavily on that card specifically, and if it's not in your opener, you now have a dead card in your deck. And if you have a good opener, like, you don't just want to mold to that card, or else you just be playing 4 of them, right? So to me, it's interesting. I don't know if like a second Dragon's Claw is just better, or if like more ley lines instead of first Dragon Claw is better. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, it is definitely interesting as somebody who plays a lot of Ad Nauseam. I'm used to those 4 ley lines, you know?
Right. The one is very interesting.
Yeah. Not something I'm a big fan of. And here we go. We're going to see a Serum Visions. The Scries are going to be Blood Moon. 2 useless enchantments at this juncture.
Yeah, and both of them are saying sorry to the party. Nothing's really happening.
Serum Visions
Oh, it's so fast you can't see it.
so fast. Possibly fathom.
What's going on? Like, do you think you just like raise it? Because that's what would probably do.
Explode.
Yeah,
Actually, man rampage facilities.
yeah. I don't know if I leave them on top. I also like he has 2 matches in hand. Why would there be free cut? Yes, I don't know. Like he also like didn't play land. I don't know. These moons are like they look cool, but at the same time you just can't cast them. Going on.
One's going to try to resolve this issue.
Yeah,
my order.
Get back.
And we'll be back when we get this resolved. right, we're back after that little technical difficulty here. And looks like Julian David showing Dave Schilling for his cool kill.
I guess there's just something wrong with the internet real quick. It seems to me that they've just really happened. Like they put a little on the library and
so he could have run it. The other moon is might be Blood Moon, as maybe that might be Julian's only like when he's taking moons by speaking Blood Moon.
right.
But
I don't think it's possible, but I mean, I guess we'll see.
Alright, Julian, draw for turn, and looks like extra pay on Arthur.
Well, that is powerful play considering he has the Phoenix in hand.
Would you do one? No Blood Moon in the video.
Well,
Yeah. Geez, that's you or
yeah. If you play Kraken Drake in turn 4, it's usually just like a 24 because your opponent will do so much. And they like have to answer it. If you put like thing in the ice into whatever into Crackling Drake, it's really hard for you to kill up the activity you have to do consistently.
Yep.
So that's the game plan. I think that's how I'm going against Mill.
you played against them?
No, I think I played against it twice. And it's sort of like Burn in a sense that like at some point they just off, they draw the wrong card or something. Like they draw a card and need a mill spell, or if they draw land and they need a mill spell, or if they just draw a sort of thing.
Well, I knew is drawn in Preston game.
Yeah.
Air most of the game the fans living probably for something. I'm also waiting for being against the circle.
Yeah. And in regard.
Not really seeing what for Julian guys. But we'll see me turn around.
I'm just like, man, whatever else is in his hand.
And they draw 3 cards says, and Julian, your first two.
Yeah, I'm casting Ancestral Recall. What are you doing?
Doing nothing. Dave gonna fire off a crab. Oh, second crab. How do you feel about this? Dave? Julian's gonna is 3. He mills 6, and then roll another 6 for the effect.
I think it's over. Not interaction early.
Not enough interaction. Oh, he's gonna mill 6 more cards. 0 cards left in the library. What is place here? Untap. Up. Hold me. Hold the crab. Julian got his own turn. He's gonna cast a Metamorphose. Oh, he did. That's gotta be game's violation. He did not declare close of mana. He was gonna add to it.
You should judge, Josh. I really think you should tell the judge.
Definitely gonna hit up the judges. And that's Dave winning a convincing 2-0 game against Julian.
Yeah.
Derek has had enough of watching Mill. I can tell. The light in his eyes has died.
I'm very sleepy. I did not sleep very much last night. I'm sleepy.
Get sleepy boy in the booth here.
Might just have a little nap while we wait for top 8.
Yeah, should be a good, exciting top 8 to come. Gonna grab some standings in a second here. Gonna let Derek go take a quick nap, and we're gonna be back just before top 8 starts. We'll have a little discussion and see what's happening.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take a nap.
All right, Derek's gonna go take a nap. We'll see you guys in a bit.